I'm back again. So I was out here making a little bit more assessment on this kayak according to the details of its design, uh, primarily the sound issues. And what initially I said, I thought that the foot pegs seemed to be a cheaper quality plastic. Well, I got to looking, and there may be some that are better, like aluminum ones, and you could make some and stuff. But I got to looking at them further and looking online. The ones that's in here, they're actually pretty good. I mean, they seem a little loose and loud, but actually they're pretty. Let me just slide it right off. It's not like a real cheap plastic. It's pretty good plastic, and most of them all come with plastic, even more expensive ones. But you know, I was wanting to quieten it down a little bit, and you know, you could put something in here, and keep it from rattling, and that would quieten it. And if you was concerned about your boots or something, like in my situation with hunting or something, you could probably put something on that to dampen it. And like I said before, like sound dampening material, like some kind of foam. It don't have to be thick, but just something to kind of make it a little quieter getting in and out. But anyways, if you get a kayak or something, most of them come, I measured it, the standard 15-inch bolt hole, and you just screw them in. So, you know, there's not much issues there. I got to looking more at the details of how these knee pads are, and they're actually better than I initially thought. Now, and this screw right here mounts to a bracket that holds that piece of foam. Now, I believe that was Perception's way of addressing it. And this foam, it goes all the way back, and I don't see any screws where that mounts. You can see it goes back in there. I believe that's what they're using for buoyancy. But so I got to looking more. You know, is the seat, it makes a little bit of a creaking sound. Well, I adjusted this and fooled around with it some, and the thing that makes the most noise is this little piece here. When you push back, this right here makes a little bit of noise. So, you know, me finding a solution to that to quieten that. But the rest of the plastic, except for maybe right here where it pivots, it doesn't really make a whole lot of noise. It's just this little squeaky piece of plastic here, which is just like for you pull it out and it slides up and down, you know, for wherever you want it. But I got it kind of where I like it. If you squeeze this hard enough, you should be able to pop it out if you wanted to and do something different. Right now, I don't know what these are for. I might find out later. This little bungee, I'm not sure what this bungee does. This part tightens this down and holds this on. When I got into sitting on it, it seems pretty comfortable. It doesn't seem bad. The next thing I wanted to address for sound was how this nylon, because when you're out in the woods, it gets quieter. So little sounds can make a difference. So this right here, I might want to put something around it so that when this rubs, it's quiet, and something around this buckle here so that it's not banging around, you know, hitting anything like that. So I was looking at that. But yeah, I got to adjusting it, and to be honest, it seems pretty comfortable. You know, I'd set in it a little bit, but I got it a little fine tuning, if you will. And it seems to be a lot more comfortable. Let's see. So yeah, these bolts here actually fasten this on here, and it's not just these like pieces of poplar plastic. So, and they're actually pretty comfortable knee pads. I don't know the reason for this. It's like a hovering seat, so to speak. I guess that does help with a little bit of comfort. It's not just solid, it has a little give to it. They do have a drain plug here. This is, like I said, this kayak has been out for a while, but it's kind of like a diamond in the rough. It's, it don't seem like much, but it's better than you'd think. Like I said, these are ram mounts. There's systems like rod holders and a variety of different accessories that'll actually work off that. But this here is just shipping tape. It just needs to come off, so that's nothing with the hole or anything. But I'll be making a few videos of this being my first kayak and all, and I really pay attention to the details, and I really look at stuff. Not claiming I know everything about kayaks, but yeah, so if a person wanted to, you can make your own bulkhead by simply getting some more of that foam or something and sealing that up on both sides if you wanted to. But if water did leak in there, it'd be a little tricky getting it out. This don't have a rear hatch for like dry storage on the rear or the front, but it's not a deal breaker. Wasn't for me, obviously. There just doesn't seem to be any other kayaks that are quite as good as this one in this price range. Even outside this price range, I just couldn't find nothing that was light enough. The kayaks that are lighter than this have a more delicate and fragile bottom to them. They have a different type of material, and it can scratch and crack and stuff a lot easier. It's not something you want to drag a whole lot. You can, but it's not going to be able to absorb the impacts like this one. But they're good kayaks. They'll perform better than this in the applications that they're designed for. But those are the only ones I know of that are lighter. Maybe the inflatable ones and these portable ones that pack up in like a backpack and people unpack them. They might be lighter. I didn't really look at those. They didn't really appeal to me. But if you're looking for something even lighter to fish on or something, that might be an option. I'm not saying they're cheaper. Some of them are actually quite a bit more expensive than inflatable ones. And if you don't like kayaking, there's paddle boarding, where it's just like a board and you paddle standing up. Some people like doing that. But I ordered another paddle. It's not like a carbon fiber shaft paddle like I mentioned before. It's not a premium or a better paddle. It's probably going to be better than this one, but I got it primarily because of the adjustability. It was only like $20 on Amazon, but I got it as something to test what size paddle really works best for me. It's a durable. It's got great reviews to be such a cheap paddle, but has a lot of adjustments to it. But that's why I got it, because of its adjustability. It's so I know what kind of size paddle works well for me, and so that when I spend around 200, a little over that, for a better paddle that's carbon shaft and fiberglass hybrid paddles itself, not the shaft but the paddles, for more efficient paddling. But that can make a big difference, the size of the paddle. So some people may overlook it, but getting the proper paddle can make it more efficient, better strokes. And there's different types of actual paddles themselves. There's some that's a little narrower and longer, and there's some that's more wider and more like teardrop. It's kind of subtle sometimes, but they're designed for different types of paddling. There's, you might paddle and want a little bit longer paddle where you're just cruising paddling. So that's those designs, and then the ones that's fatter, those are more for aggressive, closer to the kayak strokes. Depending on what you would plan on doing, that's another factor. So there's stuff to the details that you might not see, but and there's a lot of different types of strokes and how to maneuver and control the kayak by your paddle, and shifting your body weight and stuff. But I'm gonna also talk on secondary stability. Some kayaks, I don't know what this one's limitations are, but that secondary stability, some kayaks are meant to be able to stay on their side like that, especially in like white water. I mean, some of them are more designed for that type of aggressive sporting kayaking. They lean. There's a wide range of hull designs. Typically, the flatter it is, the more stable it is. Wider, but it doesn't cut through the water as good. If it's more V-shaped, it's less stable, it's narrower, but it's more maneuverable, and it'll cut through the water better. And there's a lot of in between. If you take from one for the other, if you give it more stability, it's not going to track as good, stay straight when you paddle. Or if it is narrower and it tracks better, then you gotta sacrifice kind of stability. So there's middle ground there for some. We'll see. Just depends, so it depends on your needs. This, like I said, I mentioned before, those sloughs and those areas, going through those areas, dragging this is going to be something that I have to take into consideration. Motorizing it, I don't know. I'm not relying on motorization right now. It's possible in the future, but that's not what I'm relying on. Paddling is the primary purpose for this one. So getting a proper paddle that works well for my needs is important. I still need to get a bow for this season. I sold my bow that I used for 2 seasons. I don't know what I'm going to get yet. I might get a more compact bow, or I might get a lightweight bow, or just a better quality bow. Hoyt is about as good as it's going to get as far as build quality. I like Hoyt, but I don't know what kind of bow I'm going to get. And price is kind of not the issue with that either. The bow that I really am interested in is more expensive, but I don't know if I'm going to go that route. I really don't know if I'm going to go that route. I might. But there's a few smaller, compact bows, lightweight, because I mobile hunt a lot, and how bows perform. A heavier bow, more stable bow versus a light bow.
and how those perform. That's another discussion by itself. Yeah, so we'll see. Maybe next weekend, depends on the weather. Maybe I'll take it out somewhere. I may actually go to Tiffy Bottoms, since that's where I plan to use it, and test it, see how well it does. It's starting to get cool, so but I did try that life jacket I got on. I think it may be all right for now, but I probably will upgrade in the future for a more comfortable one. But that one's not real bad. It's only $27, and it's pretty good for $27. Just like that paddle is only $20, but I mean, based on the reviews, it's really good. So we'll find out about that. It's cheaper than that one. It don't hurt to have extra paddles. If I get more kayaks, I'll have extra paddles. Yeah, I just want to go over the foot bags, further evaluation on this specific kayak. The sound issues. And if there's anything else, I still haven't put the rack mount on, but I don't need to just yet. It's supposed to warm up this week. I might do it before I go to work. I don't think it's going to take very long. The brand is Malone. I don't know that I'll do unboxing. I might. I don't know. But that's another video here from Tiffany Bottoms on the ground.